I had like an air bubble stuck between my teeth the entire time there. Probably looked like I was like chewing as I was talking then. Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the Crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you the person who received a mysterious package from Spring. What could possibly be inside this? It's too holy for your eyes, but tune in next week and you'll find out what is in this mysterious package. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than Shy Guy 4 number 1 for their suggestion of video game remakes or remasters that need to happen. Now this is the thing. You're very well versed with WhatCulture Gaming. After all, it's why you're here, part of our collective family, so you already know that we have done this list countless times over about remakes that desperately need to happen. So what I thought I'd do is add a little bit of a twist onto this, because we're going to be talking about remakes that definitely still need to happen, but I'm going to provide the one fix that they need to make sure happens in order for them to become the perfect remake or remaster. So let's get on with it. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game remakes that need to happen and what they need to fix. And you know the drill by now. Say hi to me here in the live chat and also put your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below. So let's get on with it. Number 8, Vagrant Story. Provide a better tutorial. Now, for those of you who have never played this absolute beast, then Vagrant Story is quite possibly one of the best JRPGs that Square Enix never actually followed up with, instead taking elements that worked for a planned sequel and putting them into Final Fantasy XII, which is by no means an absolute slouch of a Final Fantasy games, but still, where's my Vagrant Story 2? Come on, man. Don't make me beg. However, and I'm pretty sure that I'll lose that much coveted respect that is so hard to build up in the JRPG community, I personally found Vagrant Story to be a bit too convoluted for its own good sometimes, and that was all thanks to its tutorial or lack thereof. Now, the game uses a complex and deeply rewarding combat system and uses it to great extent thanks to the title's focus on dungeon crawling and adventuring. Yet with little to no indication on how to actually make the most of the system, many players bounced off the title before it managed to sink its claws in. Therefore, if I was to remake this, aside from mandating that the assless chaps that seem very prevalent among the characters remain intact, it would be to put in a comprehensive tutorial for new players, and not just some copy-pasted dialogue from the manual, something that actually gives you implementation, shows you how to use it in battle, and therefore you'll go away from it going, aha, I feel more confident in my skills. Because sometimes concessions need to be made for remasters and remakes in order to connect with modern audiences, and this is something I feel will open the gate for many on a truly brilliant RPG experience. Number 7, Jet Set Radio Future, fix the frame rate. So upon playing Jet Set Radio Future for the first time, I understood the concept of love, because there was very little to dislike about this game. My god, that joke was laboured. From its uber-funky soundtrack to its gorgeous visuals, Jet Set Radio Future was like a hefty smack of sugar right to the veins. It's one of those titles that I'm genuinely surprised hasn't already received the remake treatment, as it's still one of Sega's most unique IPs and carries with it a cult classic status that could earn the company a metric shedload of cash. Hell, I'd play it all over again just to waste away hours just trick grinding, boosting all over the map to that uber-rich soundtrack. My god, it is good. However, there is most definitely one area that I would love to see tweaks made in, and that is to the game's frame rate. It's clear that the title was already asking quite a lot of the original Xbox back in the day, and thanks to some internal issues, even the 360 ran in, well, slideshow form in some areas. With gameplay as smooth as the buttery visuals, Jet Set Radio Future would once again run rampant with players' hearts, and trust me, it is a love affair that you want to happen. Number 6, Ape Escape, fix the voice acting. Is there anything more pure and enjoyable than Ape Escape on the PS1? Answer is no, and if there is, I actually haven't heard of it, because catching angular apes with low polygon nets was absolutely delightful. It was one of my all-time favourite gaming experiences ever. Hopping through time and being presented with some lovingly well-crafted levels and puzzles that actively sought to get the most out of the new control system that was the analog sticks, Ape Escape was the breath of fresh air that we didn't even know we needed at the time. Oh, and can we all just agree that the intro title song bops so hard that it should be a Gang in the Warriors? However, as much as I'd like to see this game just get a fresh coat of paint and call it a day on the remaster front, the voice acting has got to go, as it is not Resident Evil so bad it's good, it's watching a school play on a come down bad. Spike and his friends sound like the first voice actors the devs came across. Hell, the professor sounds like he was the first person they found, period. And the grating dialogue does detract from the outstanding gameplay throughout. So you know what? Quit monkeying around, remake this game, but also get a better voice cast. Number 5, Gladius. Remove recruit level scaling. So, as a huge fan of the original XCOM franchise, I was basically raised on your eat your broken glass cereal and thank me for it. And as such, I find myself getting constantly drawn to very, very difficult tactics squad-based games. And as such, it led me to one of my most strange discoveries as a child, Gladius for the PS2. For those who've never played it, to boil down this experience way too much, I guess you could call it XCOM meets Gladiator, but with a combat system inspired by old Tiger Wood games. Sounds pretty mad, right? Well, when your gladiator school can comprise of mythical beasts, giants, and even vicious packs of wolves, yes, Gladius is a bit out there. But I, alongside many other tactics hounds, loved this title to death. Gladius would do incredibly in the current market as well, of balls-hard gaming experiences, and when you consider that the game actually shipped with a 2-player co-op mode and 4-player versus mode, this could make for some amazing moments on current consoles and PC. However, there is just one thing that I would definitely remove, and that is to remove recruit level scaling. Now, to explain what this is, every single time that you rock up to a new area, you're presented with a load of new people that you can recruit to your gladiator school. But the problem is that they're always the same level as the rest of your group. Now, while this does make the game infinitely easier, it does remove the connection that you build with your characters as you watch them grow from pathetic runt to all-time superstar giant. And that's kind of what I'm in these games for the connection, because it makes their losses feel even more devastating when they go, and their victories even more exhilarating as a result. So, I would say remove that. Would this make the game so much more difficult? Of course. Am I kind of turned on by this as an XCOM fan? Of course! Number 4, Red Dead Revolver, online multiplayer. So while Red Dead Redemption 2 might be the only thing that cattle rustlers and cowpokes are talking about in this day and age thanks to its outstanding single-player content and unbelievable online component, lest we not forget, the series actually had some very different roots when it started. Because you see, Red Dead Revolver didn't have a fancy open world map, it didn't center on a man monologuing his way through the Wild West, and instead presented an arcade shooter filled with cliches and crazy characters in abundance. It was the sort of shooting gallery game that Rockstar would actually distance themselves from with the GTA series, but that's not to say that the game was anything less than out and out brilliant. In fact, with a bit of spit and polish, this story of revenge could be the kind of sorbet experience that Rockstar is dishing out with their, oh Christ, where do I even begin? There's so much to do experiences that they're creating at the moment. This is clear, story-driven, gun-centric gameplay, and the best part about it all is that it's snuck in a really, really addictive multiplayer mode with over 45 characters to choose from. Therefore, we should take this online. Because the best thing about these characters is that they all offer different loadouts and a unique special attack, so this could be a riot playing with friends all across the world. And the thing is that I know Rockstar wants to do it because they teased having Red in Red Dead Redemption as a downloadable character, so come on man, I know you want to do it, prove me wrong. Number 3, Dark Summit, rebalance the physics. Right, so while the world over might be clamoring for the likes of SSX, Tricky, or 3 to get a remaster, or even indeed Amped in order to make a comeback, there is actually another snowboarding gem that is much lesser known than this, but still definitely deserves your love. Dark Summit was, and still is, very much an oddity, even alongside the uber tricks and ridiculousness of its peers. It's a sports game with a story about fascism, retaking nature and fighting back against the man under the guise of sick tricks. In short, it's utterly mad, being a kind of Beyond Good and Evil on Ice title, but that is exactly what makes it so utterly enthralling. Taking down government rangers while pulling off insane tricks is the sort of fever dream that I want to live in. However, there is one little nightmare that definitely would need addressing with a remake, and that is that the physics presented in this game are utterly broken. Yeah, it's very weird because sometimes you'll be just riding along and just do like an ollie and you'll just sail off into the sunset and you'll just be like, okay, I've slipped the surly bonds of gravity right now. And then other times, you'll be going up a ramp, like a little vert, and just be like, oh, I got 2 foot off the ground. Why? It's crazy to see your rider get more air off the flat than off a massive jump, and it does hamper the overall experience as a result. Still, with a few tweaks, this could definitely be the snowboarding game you never knew you needed, but most definitely will want to play. Number 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords add in the cut content. So KOTOR 2 is held aloft by Star Wars fans as one of the best video games in that IP's library, and it is easy to see why, with its exceptional character work and outstanding storytelling and all of the refinements and tweaks that it made to the combat of the first game. Basically, it's an O-face prolonged over about 40 hours. Nice stuff. However, it's also a game that carries with it a frustrating and rather blatant blemish in the fact that the game's ending just kind of drops off a cliff, which was apparently down to intense studio meddling by LucasArts. Poor old Obsidian Entertainment was given a hard deadline of the 2004 holiday season, and as such, this intense time pressure resulted in a ton of content being dropped from the game and the title shipping with more bugs than anyone was happy with. Yet thanks to the strength of its gameplay and indeed its character writing, the title went on to become even more revered than the original, which speaks volumes of the quality of the rest of the game. And since its release, fans have actually data mined this and found a ton of content, so much so that you'd look at it and be like, that's no small moon, that's like half a game. Seriously, what was going on over here? And they've restored it back into the original experience using mods. So what I'm saying here is that if this game were to get the remake treatment, just add in the work that's already been done. I mean, it makes the game so much more fleshed out as a result, so I feel like you'd be denying fans the ultimate experience if you were to remake this and still choose to leave it out. And number 1, 13. Do it again, but better. So I know what you're thinking taking a look at this header here, but Jules, you magnificent egg that's been dropped on a barbershop floor, Conspiracy Shooter 13 already got itself a remake by PlayMagic, so stop honking on about it, you greedy goose, and go spew your verbal piss somewhere else. Well, to that I'd say, very apt description by the way, and 2, they did get a remaster. Yeah, 13 did get a remaster, but it was utter hot garbage. Come gather round, kids, and watch PlayMagic use sleight of hand to remove essential features from the original game like competent AI, sound effects for your guns, and all of the death animations that we know now being boiled down into one horrific ragdoll scenario that looks like you're turning enemies into the Toy Story cast when a human walks into the room. I never understand how video game remasters go this wrong when the original is right there for reference. Even the graphics look worse, and when you remember that the original game had cel-shaded models, aka the easiest assets to make sing with just a few tweaks, you have to wonder what pipe these guys were huffing on. The end result is a rushed, lazy cash grab, and I cannot let this be the death of 13. That game is so much fun, and it already ends on a massive cliffhanger, so why do the dirty on us with this terrible remaster? I want it scrubbed from my memory like the protagonist, I want to have amnesia about this game, and I want somebody else to come and do it better. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game remasters that need to happen and what they should fix. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. Where's my musical interlude? Where's my slime Jesus guy? I'm just saying to you now, there's something big coming. So get braced for that, all right?
Oh, finally, here we go.
Look forward to next week's episode.
Oh.
All right. But yes, if you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. That's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming and board game content and Warhammer stuff outside of work. If you want to check it out, I'd love to see you over there, my friends. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Sometimes in life, we can look at ourselves and think, yeah, we need a bit of a remaster, we need a bit of an update, and that is perfectly okay, my friend. It is absolutely essential to sometimes take a step back from situations that are causing us undue stress and asking ourselves, are we okay? What can we do better? How can we improve and grow as a person? And sometimes that doesn't come from within, but it comes from external sources like talking to friends and families. And I urge you to speak about your problems with them, because trust me, a problem shared is usually a problem solved a lot quicker. And all I want for you is to live a healthy and happy life, all right? Big love. Now go out there and absolutely smash it. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.